Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Memes of the Week. The best thing you can do for this channel is smash that like button on this video like it's a pre-transition Ellen page, so it reaches a wider audience. And now on with the memes. Number one conservatives want you to think that you've won in life. If you're at work and your wife sent you this picture. Yes, until she divorces you because she's bored and takes sole custody of the cute kid, while you're living in a van down by the river. Either that or until you get DNA tests finding out that you're not the father, because that kid looks half Chinese to me. This is the same wife that will leave you if you lose your job. Moving on, here we have an example of the simp economy. There's the beta Bobby Lee holding her lifestyle up while she's talking to Liu Kang. Looks to me like the manatee isn't extinct after all. Based on manatees, this would be considered the Little Mermaid. But we all know that Poseidon loves them big. And this is what happened later that day when they had a threesome. Poor Bobby Lee. All that's left are his uncrushed feet. Number 3, is marriage even worth it these days? It provides no benefit for most men. Pep Guardiola's wife left him because he was too focused on work and demands half of everything he has. What men experience today is not marriage. It's indentured servitude to the woman in the state until she feels bored, unhappy, or just finds somebody else better to replace you with. The system encourages divorce because divorced women are better off than never married or divorced women. Up next, J.D. Vance's wife Usha snagged him back in the day when he was so unattractive, which is the equivalent of buying Bitcoin back in 2009. Looks like her investment paid off royally. But to be fair, this is an old high school picture. And when she met him, he was already fit after he'd been in the military. She also met him at Yale, so clearly he was already physically fit and on a successful trajectory. But of course, you know that she will still take credit for all of his success. Number 5, here's that look on a woman's face when she's married to a powerful and wealthy man, but can't monkey branch to a higher status one. Because after all, how can you monkey branch from a skyscraper? It's a hard jump from a billionaire 2-time president of the United States. And you know that Trump would turn barren against her too. That hat is there to hide her contempt. It's almost like she's gone incognito mode. Either that or she's auditioning for the role of Hamburglar for an upcoming McDonald's commercial. Moving on, when women see a single guy, they don't care. But when that same single man gets a girlfriend, then they get envious of her and suddenly see value in him, even foaming at the mouth. Funny how that works. They only want a guy that some other gal has done the quality cooch control on. That's why men wearing wedding rings will garner so much attention from the women. It's almost like women can't make their own decisions and require someone else to make them for them. They're like lemmings. Number 7, someone says that it's okay to be bigger than your partner. Alright, but does it really have to be 2.5 times bigger? Also, isn't anyone going to comment on the weird looking underwear that the guy's wearing? Something makes me think that's a trans man for some reason. They tend to wear masculine clothes that somehow always end up looking feminine. But those weak, tidy whities are designed to make the man look so weak that by default, the woman looks strong. Up next, forget about Jason or Freddy Krueger. Here's women's greatest fear, the artificial womb. This will happen, but for some reason, this design gives me creepy alien vibes. In the future, the smart women will be selling their eggs to men before they dry up. There'll be so many eggs for sale that the price might actually be a few hundred each, or even cheaper. This is how men will reproduce and as a result avoid women entirely for all other reasons besides purchasing those eggs. Unfortunately, this womb seems to still have Tyrone's bastard baby in it. Number 9 is Tyler. He's on a dating site saying that he has a criminal record for beating a woman. Yes, and other women don't care that he's dangerous. They only care that he's good looking. This is very similar to that other handsome man that put down that he was a PDF file on his dating profile as an experiment, and he ended up getting hundreds of responses. Women seeing a good-looking man shuts down the rational parts of their brain with regards to everything else. The same for the ones with high status. Moving on, can we get 1 million likes for this picture of a wholesome American family? Looks like these two are about to try and make fertility great again. For some reason, I keep thinking that the two of them are going to ask me for a donation or force me to drink Kool-Aid or something. And here's what happens when that mystery man pulls down them pants and realizes that Ilana's booty is extraterrestrial. Number 11, here are the maximum speed limits by each state. But what the hell is going on in Texas with their 85-mile-an-hour speed limits? I guess everything is bigger in Texas. In Canada, we have a 62-mile-an-hour limit, or 100 kilometers per hour. And yet when you get on our freeways, people are still driving 40 miles an hour ahead of you with no one in front of them. How many of you guys are old enough to remember when they started phasing out the old 55-mile-an-hour speed limit that Jimmy Carter set back in the late 70s during the oil crisis? Up next, witches say they're targeting Trump again with their spells, but those spells aren't working because he has a shield. I wonder, do those witches work for the Clinton Foundation or something? And in case anyone is wondering who these witches are, I've managed to find them. Why does Whoopi look like she's double their size, even though a third of her body has been sunken into that chair? And their spells probably don't even work because the Wizards Guild protects Trump. Number 13, they say that a man would marry a poor woman so long as she's loyal, and that a woman would marry a cheating man so long as he's rich. I think they forgot that women would also marry a man if he was super good looking. Also, for some reason, the bigger a bastard you are, if you're good looking or rich, the more interested they become. It just shows them that you have options. But overall, I'd say this is pretty accurate. Moving on is the pose Barron Trump makes, knowing that one day he too will be the president simply based on his family name and good looks. Let's just hope he doesn't turn into another Justin Trudeau, because remember that his father also became prime minister before him. But I think Barron will turn out all right because his dad is keeping him away from communists like Fidel Castro, unlike Justin's father. For all we know, Fidel was his biological father. Number 15, you just know this is coming in the future. Some doctor will ask a trans person if they regret their decision to transition, and then they'll say yes. But instead of taking accountability as their doctor, they'll just say, well, I guess you should have made better decisions as a child. It's the same energy when people told you that nobody forced you to take the COVID vaccine. Meanwhile, you would have ended up homeless if you didn't. Up next, Amber Heard has a new gig, being paid $33,000 to basically give talks on domestic violence with the Harry Walker Agency. In other news, Cruella de Vil is campaigning to stop the fur trade. I don't understand how some people can be so stupid to pay for her service, knowing that she's proven to be an abuser in court. I wonder if people during her talks stand up and ask why she shit the bed. Most importantly, what's her facial expression when they do ask that question? Number 17, the next time someone says that J.D. Vance has white privilege, just remember that he was born in the poorest part of America, the Rust Belt and Hills of Appalachia, to a drug-addicted single mother. This is the type of man you want ruling over your country, one who's known suffering and because of that is more likely to be empathetic to the plight of others. Hopefully he'll become the POTUS of 2028. Is he living the American dream? Moving on, the QAnon shaman was pardoned by Trump and plans to buy some boomsticks to celebrate. This guy is a living meme, and the Capitol Police invited him in to pose in different places in the Capitol. Yet this was somehow the most dangerous day in American history. People just walking around, picking stuff up and moving it around, or sitting in congressmen's office chairs. Do we really believe that on January 6th, this man was inches away from seizing complete control of the U.S. government? Number 19, this woman says that to save your time, and especially hers, if you want to date her, then you have to make at least $500,000 a year. She's not fertile, feminine, or attractive, and yet she's asking some millionaire to be her rescue plan. If she's lucky, she'll be able to find a guy making minimum wage. She thinks she's Michelin's star, but in reality, this is a Taco Bell ma'am. Social media has created super confident middle-aged below mids. What does she bring to the table except fats? Up next is another man that was pardoned by Trump. Russ Albright was leaving prison here after spending 11 years for starting the Silk Road. I wonder if they'll give him his thousands of bitcoins back too. Fat chance. Imagine the feeling, though, of suddenly leaving prison after 11 years and being told that you were going to be there for life. He's going to land on his feet as Bitcoiners are donating big money to him now. You just know that the Joe Rogan interview is going to be lit. Number 21, the Democrats haven't changed. In the 1850s, they were upset that without slaves, there wouldn't be anyone there to pick their crops, and today, without illegal migrants, they're worried about who will pick their organic blueberries and strawberry crops. They're right, though. Americans won't clean hotel rooms for $12 an hour, so that means no more cheap hotels or groceries. But at least there'll be well-paid jobs for Americans. If it's $30 an hour to clean, more people will do it. Moving on, a new report says that 40% of Brown University students identify as rainbow people. But how did this happen? Was it a steady diet of Soylent and microplastics? Maybe it's all the estrogen in the water supply. I mean, come on, this is Rhode Island, so it does kind of make sense. I once drove through that state and there wasn't anything noteworthy to see there, and the only place I stopped was to get gas to fill up. Now I have a reason to drive around the entire state. Number 23, the left is now more unpopular worldwide than at any other time since the Cold War. We need to figure out a way to get rid of the Marxist false dream of communism once and for all. Unfortunately, it's the ideology of envy, and so long as people covet the wealth of others that they didn't earn, it will be with us. But at the same time, now that the right has risen, we need to be vigilant against right-wing authoritarianism as well. Neither side is the friend of men. One wants to enslave you to a wife, and the other one wants to enslave you to their gulags and indoctrination camps. Up next are boys more valuable than girls in Pakistan, because it looks like hundreds of newborn girls were dumped in the garbage over the cultural preference for boys. They did the same thing in China, and now they're regretting it with an incel nation. In Pakistan, they're doing this because most men, if they don't have a wife, are probably willing to die for their country, and so they can get their hands on their 100 virgins in paradise. That's the point. Number 25 and the last one, what the hell happened to Kathleen Turner? She was so hot in her movies, and now looks like a nightmare. But to be fair though, this just isn't the wall. It's also autoimmune disease swelling her face, joints, and internal organs. Maybe the only upside is that the disease might have also swollen her chesticles. But even then, none of us want to see those regardless of if they're big or small. What exactly has she evolved into though? So that's it for another Memes of the Week. Please give this video a like to push it up in the algorithm and so new viewers can find it. If you enjoyed this series and want me to keep making it, then donate at the PayPal and Subscribe Star links below. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, and cheers.